Aquarius Mercury. This is like Jonnny 5, need more input. They are very intelligent, but not exactly focused. Erratic, like telephone wires just humming with electricity. They're almost focused and erratic at the same time, like atoms moving, but so rapidly that you don't even see it moving. They are the one sign of the 12 that is objective and big picture thinking at the same time. So, well, that creates some extremes. Even though they are objective, they are extremists. They usually have very intense ideas. They're very at home with the idea of science fiction. To them, it's like it can happen, it will happen, it's only a matter of time. Their mind is kind of like the internet, and that's how they process information as well. This flood constantly into their mind. They're not exactly patient people because of that. They often look for the shortest distance from A to B. They don't like to go long-winded speeches and everything. Everything has to be very quick and rapid, except, of course, the quickest point from, A to B might actually be to bend space and time. So there's that too. Some words to describe them: erratic, rebellious, shocking, extremist, moving at the speed of light. They will embrace one really extreme idea and then suddenly embrace another at the full other end of the spectrum, which has to do with the whole bending space and time. To them, this idea and this idea are actually right next to each other. And so here's the objective part. So even though they'll have extreme ideas, they don't always share these in public. Like, you can know them for years and they still won't actually share what they believe with you. They like to appear very objective, like the fly on the wall. And why is that? Well, they're more interested in just picking up signals from everyone around them. They want to learn and learn rapidly. Sometimes their mind is going so fast, they don't even know what they're thinking. They don't even think. They are just processing information, and then whatever comes out, comes out. Because of that, also, it's hard for them to shut off from negative information. Like if they go on the internet, they're very likely to, they're always on the internet, they're very likely to pick up on the news. And the news is always like shock value. They don't really differentiate between shock and like average. So if they go on the news, they're going to actually see more negative than positive, of course. They're going to see that as what's really going on. And of course, there's way more positive going on in the world, but it just doesn't make the news. Be careful if you guys are Aquarius Mercuries. That news intake can be detrimental to your positivity. Some Aquarius Mercuries are genius, and others are just plain crazy. It's a little bit like the Sagittarius Mercury in that respect, that they are so cutting edge, they are so forward thinking that the rest of us don't know if they are crazy or geniuses. And it takes a while to figure that out, probably until time catches up. They make for great speakers, writers. Any job that requires them to be forward thinking and objective at the same time is perfect. Also, technology-based careers. Often with a Mercury and Aquarius, they're either going to have everything of technology or they're going to really stay off the grid. So it's a very extreme, because remember, they're kind of extremists. It's really, really confusing for the rest of us how you can be extremist and objective at the same time. But that is the world you live in. And you're ahead of the curve, so maybe in the future that's how we all are. Because Aquarius is the sign of philanthropy, they're usually very helpful people. They don't mind reaching out if somebody needs help with something. They often have lots of friends, just like the other air signs. They constantly need more input. So if they stay around one person or 10 people, they can get very bored very easily. And boring them is really not what you want to do, because they get very irritable when they're bored. Sometimes you can feel like you're just like throwing everything at them and the kitchen sink, like all the information you know. Oh, I read this article, and then this happened to me, because you're just trying to keep their appetite for information satisfied. Here's a terrifying thought for you. What was the mind of an Aquarius Mercury before the internet? I don't even want to know. Okay, their voice, usually very cool, detached, a little scattered sometimes. They're usually very good storytellers, but when they are not talking, they are almost speaking just as loud, because you could just sense all their information just by their body language. They are the ultimate idea people. But because their mind is everywhere and nowhere at the same time, they kind of need help pulling off those ideas. All right, that's my take in Aquarius Mercury. Come back for the next video.